Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back, Treetop Garage, and we have been working on body work. Lots of body work for the last week. Pretty much all week, all I've really done is put filler and sand on that trunk lid, and I'll show you that in a minute. But today my son come over, and he came over a little bit later, so we didn't get as much stuff done as we probably could have. But we did get the hood sanded up really nice. And we got some other stuff done. So let me pause you. We'll take a little tour around. I'll show you what all we did. And yeah, so I'm really itchy though. I've been sanding Bondo or body filler for the last 4 days, and today was a lot worse than other times because we were doing a lot more sanding and other stuff. So I'll pause you. I'll be right back. All right, guys. So here's the hood. This is a couple of examples of what we've been using to sand it. It's pretty good right now. There's a few spots that still need a little bit more attention. There was a couple. Actually, if you look right here, you can see there's a little bit of low spot here. You can see it. This is where the hood hinge. I guess it's spot welded on the car, on the hood. So it's a little bit low, but you can barely feel it. So I may leave it. I may go ahead and put a little bit of filler on that. I've been kind of just, my son sanded this down today, and this is what we were using. So he did this with this sander with 80 grit, and he then went over it again with 220 grit, and then we went with the hand. This is a Wonder Block. We're using it upside down right now. Normally you would use the flat side, but because of all the curves on like in here, it works great if you flip it over because it's a little more rounded. I also been using I got a couple of these. These are for like wet sanding mostly. I got a few of those I've been using over on the car. I'll show you that. But overall, it needs a little more sanding, but it's looking pretty good. And this will probably get some primer before I put that hot rod black paint on it, I'm thinking. Just to cover up any bare metal, probably. So anyway, over here, I started masking, and I'll show you why. Normally I wouldn't mask a car before I started sanding it. This, obviously, I haven't done much sanding on it yet, as you could tell. But the tack, if you guys remember, was mounted right here. And I need to get it out of the way so I could sand, because there's a lot of crusty, weird stuff going on, especially in here and over in here. So I wanted it out of the way. So I disconnected the bracket, of course. And I left it hang, and I said, well, I need to put it somewhere because it's going to be in my way. So I went and taped off the windshield, masked it off real good. I just got it taped up here to the windshield paper to keep it out of the way. And when I go to paint this, that'll make this real easy to get paint on everything. So, yeah, going around this little stuff like this is really crusty in here. And also, I didn't get it all the way yet, but up here is really bad. There's still a lot more. You can see it right in this body line right above the door. It's all just chunky looking, and yeah, it's pretty bad. So I got to go over that still. It took me, I don't know, after I masked everything, it took me a while just to get this stuff all fixed up. And actually over here on the other side, I'll show you this. So this side was worse, and obviously I found some rust in here, which I have not done sanding this yet. I got to sand this down some more. But I also put a bunch of that rust-colored, like that, spray paint all over some of these areas. And a lot of it was right in here, so it might look like rust, but it's really not. But up in here, I don't know what kind of paint this is. It's like a red. It must be enamel or something, but it's not sanding very good. Like, it wouldn't feather at all. And this right here is a really hard edge. And I sanded on that for a while with 80 grit, and I couldn't get it to really flatten out good. So I'm going to have to work on this area more. And honestly, I mean, this whole drip rail edge area is pretty rusty, and it's not, I mean, it's not like holes or nothing, but I'm going to take care of that. So the plan is, as you can see, I got tape there. I'm going to tape it off from here that forward with plastic. I'm going to take all this down too in here. And then that way when we put the hood on, at least this will be all clean, because this side's really bad. You can see it's got some pretty chunky rust in there. Other side's not too bad. It should sand pretty good. But I want to cover this whole motor, radiator. Of course, we got the grill off. I took the headlight bezels out, got them masked off. I'm going to run plastic across the front. We'll cover all that. I'm going to have to mask off pretty much all the wheel wells and everything, and the exhaust underneath, and probably the slapper bars too, because we're going to be painting these fenders, or these rear quarters. So anyway, you saw what we used in the front and the hood over there. So I made a purchase. I had a straight line sander that I bought probably about 25 years ago. And it was pretty wore out. It would barely even do anything. It would get stuck a lot of times. It was a cheap one, a no-name one I got from, it wasn't even Harbor Freight. It was like some other Chinese-made one. And I was trying to use it on this trunk lid, and it kept acting up. It would get stuck. I oiled it numerous times with air tool oil, and it didn't seem to help. So, Amazon to the rescue. I got the old Ingersoll Rand 315, and this thing's been working awesome. The only thing so far, and it's not a problem with the tool, is I didn't have hardly any sandpaper that'll fit it. I think I had one piece of 36 grit, which I was using just to knock down some of the heavy body filler, and it broke today. So I actually bought a roll of stuff for this, and I'm waiting for it to show up. I think it's here now. It's supposed to come this afternoon. Also, I did use this a little while. I've had this forever too. These are pretty much a manual one of these, but I've had this thing for years. It works great. It just, for as much as I got sanding I do, I kind of wanted something pneumatic, make it a little easier. So this is what we got going on back here, and I got plastic over everything because the filler I'm using is from Napa. I think it's called ProLite or something, and it's very runny. You have to be kind of careful with it. And I didn't realize until the first time I went to put it on, or maybe second coat, it was like, if you're not careful, it'll drip off, like when you're putting your coats on. And it was dripping on the bumper, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to cover it up. Plus sanding, stuff was getting everywhere. So I was like, I'm just going to kind of cover up the trunk and get everything all covered up, just to keep a little bit of dust out of there. So that's what we got right now. Obviously, I haven't sanded this again. We still got a tiny bit of low spot over here and a little bit on these two spots. This is just from the last time I mixed it up today. I put it mostly on this side, and then what was left I put over here. And the last time I did the same thing, but this side first, and put what was left over that side. So it's looking pretty good. It's going to need a few more coats. I'm going to have to, do some final stuff on this little ridge that runs all the way up there. And obviously I'm going from the bottom up. So I did learn that spot welding the bottom of this thing, really tweaked it a little bit on the bottom, so because we're having a lot of low spots. So we've been having to put multiple coats on that. So let me pause you, and we'll kind of wrap this up a little bit here. All right, so yeah, we've got some stuff accomplished today for sure. A lot of work on this hood. It was actually more work than I was thinking. But I probably will put a coat of primer on this just to see how it's going to look. And I think anything over on the car here that I sand to bare metal, I'll put some kind of primer on it as well. But there's going to be a lot more masking in the wheel wells. Like I said, the exhaust, and of course around the slapper bars and that. I don't want to get paint on all that stuff. And yeah, so, and all I have really else to take off. I took off the headlight buckets, the grill. Well, me and my son did I took off pretty much everything except for the grill. My son took the grill off because I was still working on sanding the cowl area. I wanted to take off the rear bumper and the tail light, just the chrome bezels with the lenses. I'll take those off. Other than that, pretty much everything's off of it that's got to come off. The rest will just be masked off. So yeah, we're gonna try to get this stuff here. I want to get it kind of ready to paint maybe by next weekend. We'll see how this trunk lid goes. That's the main holdup. There's going to be a lot of sanding and a lot of coats on that. Everything else should go pretty quick. Now that I think the sandpaper did come because I got an alert on my phone after I paused, I seen it. So I think that's here. I got 80 grit. It's a roll of I forget how wide it is, but it's for that straight line style sander. I do have a couple different roughness grits of DA 6-inch DA paper. So I've just been using this little orbital DA style sander I got from Harbor Freight. This thing's working great. And it was only like, I think I got this thing for like $27 or something. So it works awesome. And a lot of hand sanding as well. Because you can't get in here with a lot of stuff. I mean, you can't get in certain places with this as much as you could with a hand sanding little block or whatever. So yeah, right now I'm trying to get all the little spots that I can get to by hand before I get out to something like that and just start going to town on all those flat surfaces. So we'll be doing that here shortly, and I'm done for today. I got my wife's out of town, so I got to go make dinner and all kind of stuff here. So yeah, so we're doing that this week. Hopefully this hood will be done. I'm probably gonna try to finish it up tomorrow, and I want to get the driver's side window in. I've been wanting to do that for a while. That was one of the goals for today, but it never happened because we were busy doing other stuff. So I got the glass, I got window urethane, just got to get glue it in, and it should be good. And then I do have all the stuff for the steering arm, from the steering box to where the spindle side. I just haven't had a chance to get that. I got to cut it down a little bit and rethread it to the right size, and I just haven't. The one that's in there works, it's just not adjustable anymore. So I got to do that. And yeah, so, but I got the thing running. I did drive it after I did that alignment stuff I showed you guys. The alignment is dead on, and actually I noticed if you look from the back of the car, the front fenders kind of go like this, and I think that made it look like an optical illusion on the way the tires sit. So, and anybody, a few people commented about the alignment on the last video about the jack stands. I did take it off the jack stands. I drove it around a little bit. I came back and I remeasured it. And it was, I had to make a little bit of adjustment, and now it's good with all the weight on it. So if anybody's wondering, we're good on that now, I think. Unless I need a little more toe in or toe out. It seemed pretty good though when I was driving it. It went pretty good. So I got to do something with the steering dampener though. It's not long enough. The stroke, I need a little more stroke on it, so I have to figure something out with that. If I got to get a different one or what, I don't know. But I did change the angle on it. It did have a really big angle on it from the where it's welded cross member to the actual arm. So now that I changed the angle, I just flopped it around the back side of that bracket I put on. So that might do it. I don't know. When I drove it, I didn't have it hooked up when I drove it the last time. I just took it off. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll worry about that later, I guess. I want to get this thing painted. I want to be able to, now I feel like I can't drive it because I got filler on the back. And now, of course, now it's somewhat masked off. I don't want to drive it, but I mean, it's got a current tag on it. It's in my name. I got insurance on it. It's ready to go. I just got to finish it. So, anyways, guys, I rambled there for a minute. I'm sorry. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done it yet. And thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. I'll try to get maybe some videos out this week of some sanding. I want to get some more work videos kind of thing. I don't really like making these weekly update videos. I feel like you guys want to see me actually doing this stuff, so I'll try to do that this week sometime. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.